Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hope Santa Barbara. My name is Gabe Hollis. I'm the Student Ministries Director here.
I'm Jordan Branch, our Team World Vision Captain at Hope.
We're gonna get started in about 10 minutes for now. Let's have some fun looking at some videos and memes and stuff. Some people posted some memes on my wall per my request. We're gonna take a look at some of them, see if they're good or if they're terrible. There we go, Melanie Kane. Girls have a hard time choosing where to eat because the last time they chose, they doomed all of humanity. Now this, the last time they chose, so a girl chose.
It has been ages.
Yeah.
It has been ages.
It hasn't been since the beginning of time that women chose.
This is the most recent occurrence of a woman choosing where to eat.
Yeah.
I dig the flamingo in the background. That's a small detail, but there's just a flamingo, totally unafraid, just like, what's up?
And I like those pterodactyls.
Is that what they are?
Probably not, but one can hope. A guy can dream.
A guy can dream.
So, have you ever participated in rock skipping? You know, this kind?
Yeah, definitely.
Have you ever tried to set a record? You seem like
I've
someone who's competitive about that.
Yeah, I definitely try to beat my own record. I'm not sure what my record is.
Would
but
you say it's plus 10, minus 10?
Probably about 12.
Negative 10,
guess.
12. Okay.
That's my guess.
All right, here's a guy who's really good at it. Let's take a look on a second. All right, he's got the nice form. He's got a serious look on his face. Look at that thing go. It's almost like it's not even skipping. It just slides and it just never seems to stop.
Wow.
That guy knows that he's good. Look at that baseball pitch, grace of a ballerina throw he's got there.
I think the important thing is that the release point is so close to water level. And also the water is fairly smooth.
Right.
I think that's an important factor in this.
Yes, that's a good point.
So he's got good conditions, plus just good technique, and obviously a lot of practice, lots of repetition, and
I think probably the stone
that
plays
probably
into it as well.
matters, yeah. He's probably got good stone selection.
So we're big fans of cats.
Oh, absolutely.
One of my new favorite things, oh, that's right, he's got the cat shirt on. Something that just gives me an overdose of cuteness is seeing cats tucked in kitties, right?
Yep.
So this is a great one.
Oh boy.
This cat just wants to be tucked in, pulls it in like that. But this video just keeps getting better because, look at that. Oh my gosh, that is cute. Oh man.
Whoa.
My heart's exploding. Oh, look at his face. Look at he's winking at us.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I want to.
That's a happy little kitty.
Yeah, it is.
I thought the kitty was gonna tuck himself in, but that's even better. Getting a teddy bear, ooh.
Man. I want to name him Marvin.
Marvin?
Yeah.
I would name it Noodle.
Oh. You ever tried to flip a cup and get it to land on?
Probably at some point.
So, have you ever tried to do that out of a window?
I don't think I have.
Okay.
I was into the throwing a ping pong ball, doing trick shots.
Oh, that was
and
really
trying to
fun.
get it to land somewhere.
Yeah.
That's still a fun activity, but flipping the cup itself, not so much.
So this is someone who tried to do that. Let's see how well it worked.
Is that a glass?
The second story. They got a glass they're doing here. Oh, that is not working out to their advantage. I don't know what they were expecting.
I think everything shattered.
Yeah, the glass itself too.
The glass, the cup, their hopes and dreams, all of it just shattered at one moment.
The ladder was so scared that it tried to get out of the way at the last minute. Look at this thing. It runs away.
It actually moves. It wasn't me. I didn't do that.
You know what stop motion animation is?
Yes.
Right? You take a picture, you move something a little bit, you take another picture. These guys did hard work on this. Took them 5 days to make this in 95-degree weather. Wowzers. Look at all the cords moving in the background. They were using hair dryers. Whew.
Oh my goodness.
That's a masterpiece.
5 days in 95-degree weather.
Yeah.
That's intense.
My goodness.
But obviously worth it. I mean, did you see that?
That was beautiful.
That was a good jump shot, Just smooth release point, nothing but net. Gotta love it.
This guy out of wood created an engine that they used to use in old planes.
Wow.
I like to imagine he's rotating a crank, but there's no possible way that's happening. But this thing, man, goes all out. Whew. It looks like it would break. Like it should be broken by now.
So it has 9 pistons firing there. What is powering this thing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was thinking maybe it was air because I see this hose in the background, but that's not connected to anything. It doesn't look like it's plugged into anything. How is he doing that? This is just a cool thing to check out. Like, you can watch the shadows play volleyball rather than the actual people. It's got a nice vibe, right? Got a nice Santa Barbara vibe.
Yeah. That's it. After a while, the longer you watch it, it kind of takes on like a 3D
Right.
look to it.
I wish that it was longer because
Yeah.
there's something like
It was
oddly
just
soothing about
It
it.
was just getting good.
The pattern of the sand is nice. The net, I was gonna say looks like a shadow. That's because there is a shadow there.
Whoa. That's kind of trippy, but I like it.
Tell me who you think this looks like. I'm not even playing the sound though.
I'm guessing someone sent it in and said it looks like you.
Does it look like me?
I can see it.
Oh, okay. Actually, the person who sent it in was me. I thought it looked like me.
Oh, really?
And I sent it to my brother. He's actually talking about being a nerd, but he was like a way bigger nerd than me. Although something I really resonated that he talked about was how his mom would punish him by making him go play basketball with his brothers. And he refused to catch the ball. And so his brothers would tell on him, and his mom would be like, "You need to catch the ball."
Wow.
Punishment. So that would have been
Wow.
punishment for me, probably.
Sports as punishment has never even crossed
No.
my mind.
No. Underwater just freaks me the heck out, especially thinking about whales. And this is, okay, just looking at that creeps me out. Anybody else out there get creeped out by whales? But this is terrifying to me. Did I say this? This is actually how whales sleep.
They sleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it looks like a pickle.
Is this from a longer film about a freediver? who goes
I don't
under?
know.
Because I've seen a film about a freediver who he finds a whole family of sleeping whales and just like touches them.
Oh, it's just horrifying to me. It feels so small and lost and gonna be devoured. Ugh, and it looks like a pickle. A blue pickle. A blue floating pickle.
Blue floating pickles need love too.
Yeah,
and they need their sleep.
And it's a great band.
Oh yeah.
Blue floating pickle. I
For
love that.
sure.
When the humidity is just right, you can get a plane like this making these super cool swirls going on.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I believe that type of aircraft is called an Osprey. Any pilots out there, anyone who knows about military aircraft can confirm or correct me.
Dogs with floppy ears are cute. We like to bring some cute into
Fact.
our service.
It's a
And
fact.
this is just, how does it get more cute than a floppy-eared dog bouncing along? Look at this dog. He's just the happiest dog there is. There is no care in the world to this dog.
I think the cutest part is actually the short legs.
Yeah,
You know,
that really
if
adds
it was
to
like a dog on stilts, it just wouldn't have the same effect.
Good.
But the little munchkin legs,
Yeah.
so cute.
But I would actually, to be honest, rather watch a video of a dog walking on stilts. That would be amazing.
next week, tune in next time.
There's gotta
Dogs
be-
on stilts.
There's got to be a dog that does that.
I'm sure.
someone's
I'm sure
done
there
that.
is.
Oh, this is a great dog. This dog is getting ready for Halloween. Check this out. He just loves to wear masks. Oh, he's got his watermelon buddy there.
Oh, this is too
Popping.
good.
Oh, that's a nice one. What does the watermelon face have anything to do with Superman? It doesn't, but it's great. This is a dad trying to teach his kid how to make a snow angel.
Don't you have to lay down for it though?
Well, he's kind of laying out the groundwork. Like, once you lay down, this is what you're gonna do with your arms. Okay. The first time I saw it, I expected them to just drop the kid into like 4 feet of snow. Okay, no, that's not how you do it, little dude. You go up and down like that. No, no, young man. Let me show you the technique. See, up and down like that. Ready? No.
Oh,
He just never
man.
quite got it, but.
He'll get there. Hey,
Yeah.
repetition. Everyone starts somewhere. Repetition, you build muscle memory.
That's right.
He'll get there. He's gonna be making snow angels like a pro.
Okay, so somebody documented the popularity of boys' names by state from 1950 until now.
Like baby names.
Right. Do you
Wow.
want to guess what the most popular in California is today? And well, 2018 as far as it goes, actually.
I think it was Liam.
Liam?
I think.
Okay, so here we go.
All right. Still Michael in California. Mm-hmm. David.
Look at all those
Wow.
Davids.
Oh, Michael. Michael comes back. Oh, Michael by a long shot. Michael is dominating the landscape. Jason making a strong run, though. Oh, Matthew and Joshua. Christopher out of nowhere. Here comes Christopher. Michael, though, retaining his dominance on the field. Daniel out in California. Danny, California. Any Red Hot Chili Peppers fans? Jose is in Texas. Jaden on the scene. Oh, there's Liam. I see Liam. Okay, Oliver, Noah at the finish line.
Congratulations, Noah Tag Attack.
Woo! I am sweating after that.
I was too. You made it super intense, man. You should be a sports announcer. You made like this more exciting than sports. Well, thank you for joining us for all of those memes and videos.
Yes, we're glad you can join us. Take a moment to like this video, share it, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Today's service is gonna look like a few songs. We'll hear about cool opportunities for things going on at Hope, hear an encouraging message from Pastor Jim, and close with one final song, all in about 50 minutes.
For now, we're gonna kick it off with a few songs, the first one being about the amazing grace of God. Here we go.
Is mighty and so much stronger, the King of glory, the King above all kings, who shakes the whole earth with holy thunder, who leaves us breathless in awe and wonder, the King of glory, the King above all kings. This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. Now you will take my place. Now you will bear my cross. You lay down your life. Now I will be set free. Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Who brings a chaos back into order? Who makes the orphan a shining daughter? The King of glory, the King of glory, who rules the nations with truth and justice, shines like the sun in all of his brilliance. The King of glory, the King above all kings. Oh, this is amazing grace. This is unfailing love, that you would take my place, that you would bear my cross. You laid down your life, that I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy, worthy, worthy. This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love, that you would take my place, that you would bear my cross. You laid down your life, that I would be set free. I searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. Man's empty praise and treasures that fade, I'll never know. Then you came along, put me back together, and every desire is now satisfied here in your love. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing, nothing is better than you. I know it's true. I'm not afraid to show you my weakness, my failures and flaws. Lord, you've seen them all, and you still call me friend. 'Cause the God of the mountain is the God of the valley. There's not a place your mercy and grace won't find me again. Lord, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing, nothing else. love that is tested like a covenant of old. Your love is enduring through the winter rain and beyond the horizon, with mercy for today. Faithful you have been, faithful you will be. You pledge yourself to me, and that's why I sing. Your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. Your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. Your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. Your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. You father the orphan, kindness makes us whole. You shoulder our weakness, and your strength becomes our own. Now you're making me like you, clothing me in white, bringing beauty from ashes. For you will have your bride, free of all her guilt, and rid of all her shame, and known by her true name. And that's why I sing. Your praise will ever be on my lips,
So if you could master any one talent, what would it be?
This is a good question. There are so many things that I would like to master, but I'm just not going to put in the time realistically.
Right, yeah, I gotcha.
Two things that I think are cool. One is BMX flatland tricks, where you're not on jumps or anything, just on like a tennis court, like a flat ground. You're just doing tricks on a BMX bike. I think that's super cool. The other is sleight of hand. I think, you
that'd
know,
be cool.
like make a coin disappear, even just simple stuff.
I like that, yeah.
It looks so simple, but just the basic moves, professionals will take years
Oh
to
my
master.
God.
So it's just so much time and repetition, but the effect is
Yeah.
incredible. What about you? What would you do?
I can do this. See this wallet?
Yeah?
It's gone. It's incredible.
What was that loud thud?
I don't know. It wasn't a wallet hitting the floor. So the only thing that came to mind is because earlier we were watching a video in the service of a guy skipping rocks on the water. So I was thinking, man, what does that say about someone who's really good at doing that? One, they're really smooth, like a smooth stone, right? They like to spend time by water. Everybody loves a guy who likes to spend time by water.
That's true.
And, you know,
everybody.
yeah.
Everybody does.
The one thing I read on dating apps, the thing that I read the most from like what women are looking for in men is
Yeah.
like guys who can skip rocks on the lake. You know?
Okay.
Oh,
There you go, ladies.
you're welcome, ladies. I'm so alone. If you're just tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Gabe Hollis. I am the Student Ministries Director here at Hope Santa Barbara.
I'm Jordan Branch, our Team World Vision Captain at Hope. Go ahead and take a moment to like this video if you haven't already. Help it reach more people.
And one thing we would love it if you would do is just take 30 seconds to fill out an online connection card. Link is in the description and in the comments. We're putting it in the comments right now. It's just a great way for us to connect with us, for you to get some more information about Hope, for you to sign up for some opportunities, leave a prayer request, or give us a comment and some feedback.
And when you fill out a connection card, it also helps other people because Hope will donate $1 to RIP Medical Debt, an organization that buys and then forgives medical debt, which can be a real burden. And so far, through your efforts, we're at more than $60,000 of forgiven medical debt. So we are doing good each and every week just by filling out that connection card.
And if you'd like to get the message of Jesus Christ and his love and the hope that he brings that we're talking about every Sunday morning here at Hope, to get that message as far as wide and as possible, you can give online at hopesb.com/give. That's hopesb.com/give. It is in the description of this video. You can also mail your donations to 4141 State Street, E14, Santa Barbara, California, 93110. And now, here's our lead pastor, Jim Firth, with today's message.
Thanks, Gabe. Thanks, Jordan. Those of you who know me know that I have a tendency to carry around a lot of stuff, much of which I don't actually need to carry around. And I'm referring to actual stuff. For example, whenever I go on a trip, I tend to overpack. I pack 10 shirts and 3 or 4 pairs of jeans, but typically wind up only wearing 2 shirts and the same pair of jeans for the whole trip. And I bring a swimsuit, even though it's unlikely we'll be swimming. Even if there's no pool where we're going, I'll still pack a swimsuit because you never know, right? And I'll bring hiking shoes and running shoes and flip-flops and beach shoes and, of course, a pair of dress shoes, just in case we're invited out to someplace upscale. And I'm not bragging about all this. In fact, if anything, this is a confession. I'm acknowledging I have a problem. I keep a large tote in the back of my car that's got all kinds of stuff in it. Jumper cables, toolbox, bungee cords, a bundle of rope, just in case I need to throw somebody a rope for some reason. I've got sunscreen in there, which ironically I never ever put on. I've got a roll of paper towels, a tape measure, duct tape that's been in there so long it's probably not good anymore. I mean, you know how duct tape gets when it sits in a hot car for too long. I carry around a lot of stuff because I don't like being caught unprepared. I dislike being in a situation where I need something, but I don't have it. And that's also why I carry what I call a man bag, or what is more commonly known as a messenger bag, but what some of my friends like to humorously refer to as a man purse. It houses my keys, my reading glasses, my sunglasses, 2 wallets, one for cash and one for credit cards and insurance cards and stuff. It's got my phone, my earbuds, 1 or 2 pens, a Swiss Army knife that has come in handy on so many occasions, some chapstick. Honestly, I don't know how other dudes can get by without one of these. My friends who make fun of me for carrying this around everywhere, Guess who they come to when they need an ice pick or an extra thumb drive or some fingernail clippers? That's right, they come to me. Except that I have never had anybody ask me for any of those things ever. See, if I'm honest, it's not so much that I want to be ready for anything. It seems that maybe if I'm honest with myself, I'm trying to be ready for everything. And that's just not realistic, is it? Let me answer that question for you. It's not. See, if your goal is to be ready for everything, you're going to be carrying around a lot of stuff you don't need to carry around. The name of this series we're in is called Ready for Anything. And it's a great series for the times we're living in because God only knows what the future holds. That was the title of the first message in the series. God only knows. And that's a wonderful thing because even though we can't know and don't know what the future holds, God, our Heavenly Father, knows. And as His kids, He wants us to be prepared in every way for what He knows the future holds. And God is so faithful to make sure that we are prepared. And that's the confidence that we have. We can be ready for anything without having to be ready for everything. See, it's our fear and our insecurity and our lack of trust, frankly, that compels us to try to be ready for everything, to be ready for things we will never need to be ready for. So we carry around a lot of stuff we don't need to carry around, and we worry about stuff we don't need to worry about, and we even invest our resources, including our time and energy, into things that will never help us or serve us in any way, but will instead weigh us down and hold us back and cost us too much. Now, last week we looked at several scriptures that underscored the reality that God knows what you are going to need way before you ever need it. And we've been camping out on this idea for the last several weeks that God knows how to protect us from the coming storms of life, the storms that will blow into our lives and into the world. But the storms don't need to threaten us. When we walk with Jesus, when we hear His words and put them into practice, we can be, Jesus said, like the wise man who built his house on the rock. The winds blew, the rains came, and beat against that house, and it did not fall. Jesus said that in this life we would endure hardship, trials, difficulties. We would endure storms. But He said that if we built our lives on Him, we would suffer no damage from those storms. We would not suffer the loss of anything that was of true value or importance to us. Now, of course, this takes faith because some of you might be quick to respond, hey, I've already suffered the loss of something or someone who was of tremendous value to me. But Jesus has promised. He promised us that nothing we have released into His care, nothing that we have surrendered to Him will ever be ultimately lost. Nothing. Not even your very life. Jesus said this, if you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. So, to be ready for the storm means to be ready for hardship, to be ready for suffering. You're going, now wait a minute. Last week, you were painting this picture of riding out the storm in the safety and security of the indoors, wrapped in a blanket of peace, you said, warming yourself by the fire of God's love while the storm rages outside. And now it seems like you're talking about being ready to suffer? Yes. See, if there's one thing that Jesus taught us, and that those early first century Jesus followers exemplified for us, it's that you can be enduring great suffering and hardship on the outside, in your circumstances, in your business, in your finances, even in your physical body, but be experiencing God's peace and contentment and even great joy on the inside, in your heart and mind. Paul says, outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are producing for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. See, our troubles, our suffering, our hardships are producing something for us, something glorious and eternal. Peter says, therefore, since Christ suffered in the flesh, arm yourselves with the same resolve, because anyone who has suffered in his flesh is done with sin. Remember how we've been talking about how God uses the storm in two ways: to draw us closer to himself and to sweep away evil and sin. The storm, suffering, has a purifying effect. Now here's what I hope to drive home today. God wants to make us ready for suffering because suffering makes us ready for heaven. Let me say that again. God wants to make us ready for suffering because suffering makes us ready for heaven. Peter, in that last verse, goes as far as to say, arm yourselves for this purpose. Ready yourself, equip yourself for suffering, for hardship, things we don't need to fear, things that we can actually, and we are encouraged to, embrace. Well, how do you do that? There's a word that describes the action or the process whereby someone intentionally subjects themselves to hardship or to suffering in order to produce a desirable long-term result. Anybody want to take a guess as to the word that I'm thinking about? Go ahead and type it in the comment box. When you gladly, even joyfully, subject yourself to pain, to hardship and suffering because you know it is going to produce something wonderfully beneficial and lasting. What is that called? No, marriage was not the word I was going for, though for some maybe that's applicable. The word I'm looking for is the word discipline. Discipline. Now this is important because there is a place we can settle into as Jesus followers where we've come to grips with our weakness and our fallenness and our sinfulness, and we've so come to terms with and embraced our limitations that we essentially, in a sense, we give up on ourselves. We say things like, well, I'm only human, or nobody's perfect. And as a result, we've found tremendous consolation and comfort and even exhilaration in the grace and mercy of God, his unmerited favor. And we bask in his grace and his mercy and his, forgiveness. And we love the idea that he loves us just the way we are. And we find it easy, natural even, to freely extend God's grace and mercy to others whom we recognize are also fallen and sinful and weak. And all that is really, really good, very good. But it's not the whole picture. There can be a sense in which we have become so comfortable in God's grace and mercy that we seem to have conveniently put aside the idea that while he loves us just the way we are, he loves us too much to leave us that way. You see, God is in the restoration business. His intention isn't just to rescue you, but to restore you, literally to perfect you. That's his intention for you. We're all on a journey, walking with Jesus day by day, one day at a time. But we are not walking aimlessly. We have a destination we are moving toward, and that destination is perfection. Jesus said, you must be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect. C.S. Lewis wrote, some people seem to think that what Jesus meant by that was, unless you are perfect, I will not help you. I think he meant, the only help I will give you is help to become perfect. You may want something less, but I will give you nothing less. Then C.S. Lewis goes on to describe how, when we're kids and we get a toothache and we are sometimes reluctant to tell our mom about it because, she'll likely haul us off to the dentist. We wish she would just give us an aspirin and then forget about it, but no, she gives us the aspirin and then loads us into the car and takes us to the dentist. And dentists, they start poking around and messing with other teeth that aren't even a problem yet. And they're looking for wisdom teeth that are growing in wrong and need to be pulled, and teeth that are crooked that need braces, and cracked teeth that need crowns put on them, compromised teeth that need root canals, and all kinds of stuff. You just wanted your tooth to stop aching. Well, in the same way, we often go to God asking him to help us with a problem or a crisis that we are facing. We want the quickest, most painless remedy possible. He's not content with that. He wants you to be perfect, the perfect you. That you he had in mind from the beginning, the you were created to be, because he knows ultimately you will never be happy and complete and fulfilled being anything other than the person you were created to be. And God's not a quitter. God does not give up. God doesn't settle for close enough. Now, don't get all discouraged or defeated because you know you're not there yet. Don't get discouraged or defeated because you know that you've got a long, long way to go on your road to perfection. God knows how far you have to go, and he knows perfectly well that your own efforts will never get you anywhere near perfection. And God loves, he delights in, he finds great joy in the process, in the journey with you. And he's so faithful, and he's so gentle. He knows when to take you up those steep trails that are hard and require a lot of effort, but lead to overlooks, beautiful overlooks and vistas. And he knows when to lead you to green pastures with refreshing brooks winding through them. He loves to lead you every day, one day at a time, on the journey he marked out just for you. And he loves you even in your perfection. The only thing he doesn't like is when you decide to bail on the journey and you settle in and you get comfortable and you determine not to go further. God says this through the writer of the book of Hebrews. For in just a little while, the coming one will come and will not delay, and my righteous ones will live by faith. But I will take no pleasure in anyone who shrinks back. When it comes to being ready for anything, it's important to keep in mind that it's not just a matter of being prepared for whatever the future holds, whatever event or contingency or circumstance that might unfold. That's certainly part of it. But arguably, a much more important, a much bigger part is your being ready to give an account of your life to God. Yes, each of us will give a personal account to God. This is what Jesus was primarily talking about in his many stories and parables about being ready, being prepared. For example, the parable of the wise and foolish builder that I referenced earlier, and that actually we've looked at the past couple of weeks. The first week of this series, we looked at an instance where Jesus, shortly before his death and resurrection, he gave this lengthy, detailed prediction of future events using apocalyptic language. Some of what he said had its fulfillment in the immediate future, and the other things he said seemed to pertain primarily to the end times, the time when he would return back to earth in human form. Throughout that narrative, he underscored again and again, he said, be ready, be prepared, always be ready. And he concluded that narrative by telling several stories in succession to illustrate the importance of being prepared. One of those stories, recorded in Matthew 25, is about a man who went on a long trip. For the sake of time, I'm just going to give you a condensed version. We'll be looking at the whole story in our community groups this week. And of course, I encourage you to read it on your own. It's found in Matthew chapter 25, beginning at verse 14. But the story is about a man who went on a long trip, and before he left, he called his employees together, and he entrusted each of them with a certain amount of money to manage while he was gone, each according to their ability, the parable says. The one who was entrusted with $5,000 invested it and earned $5,000 more. The one who was entrusted with $2,000 and invested it and earned $2,000 more. But the one who was entrusted with $1,000 didn't invest it at all. He neither spent it nor invested it. He simply locked it in a safe, in his closet, in his spare bedroom, and waited until his boss returned. When their boss returned, he lavished praise on the two guys who doubled his money, saying to each of them, "Well done, good and faithful employees. You have been faithful with little, you will be given much, much more." But to the one who locked his money in a safe, in his closet, in his spare bedroom, well, as Jesus tells the story, the boss said to him, "You wicked and lazy servant. You could have at least deposited what I gave you in the bank. Then at least I would have gotten a little interest. And then he fired him on the spot. He said, pack your bags, get out. I mean, that's pretty much the language and the intensity that Jesus used in this story. The story really is a little unsettling, and I think Jesus meant for it to be. I think a lot of what Jesus said was meant to unsettle us in a good way, in a good beneficial way. Because when we get too settled, we stop growing. We stop advancing, and we wind up falling woefully short of our full redemptive potential, that for which we were created, that for which God destined for us. It's clear from this story that God's intention for us is far bigger than just to rescue us. He intends for our lives to produce something, to bear fruit. See, we are all prone toward laziness, or at least most of us. Even those of us who are workaholics are the way we are because we don't want to expend the emotional energy to discipline ourselves in the way that we order our life and in what we give our priority to. We gravitate toward our comfort zone. And for some, our comfort zone is burying ourselves in our work so that we don't have to face the harsh reality of the work that needs to be done in our family or in our relationships or in our character. Somebody once said, you will never find the best version of you inside your comfort zone. And I think whoever said that was absolutely right. Listen, never before in recorded history has a civilization had a greater opportunity for an existence of comfort, ease, convenience, the opportunity for a more passive existence, a more lazy lifestyle than we do today. But are we happier? Are we more fulfilled? No, we're not. Comfort and ease does not translate to happiness and fulfillment. God did not create us for a life of passivity and ease. Consequently, we will never be content or fulfilled or complete with such a life, or even healthy. He created us with a need for challenge, for growth, for discipline, for sacrifice. We find purpose, meaning, joy, not primarily in ease and comfort, but rather in overcoming, in godly conquest, in bearing fruit. And that's why God wants to make you ready for hardship and suffering, because hardship and suffering makes you ready for heaven. And in fact, oftentimes, it's in hardship and suffering that we have our most powerful, most transformative, most exhilarating encounters with God. Now, that's the end of my message today. But I want to leave you with a specific challenge. Immediately after Jesus tells the story I just summarized about the boss entrusting various quantities of resources to his various employees, right after that he says this, and now I'm reading from Matthew's account of the life and teachings of Jesus in the New Testament of the Bible. Follow along with me. This is what immediately follows the story I just referenced. But when the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, then he will sit upon his glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered in his presence, and he will separate the people as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will place the sheep at his right hand and the goats at his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you fed me. I was thirsty, and you gave me a drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me into your home. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you cared for me. I was in prison, and you visited me." Then these righteous ones will reply, "Lord, when did we ever see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink, or a stranger and show you hospitality, or naked and give you clothing? When did we ever see you sick or in prison and visit you?" And the king will say, "I tell you the truth, when you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you were doing it to me." Then the king will turn to those on his left and say, "Away with you, you cursed ones, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his demons. For I was hungry, and you didn't feed me. I was thirsty, and you didn't give me a drink. I was a stranger, and you didn't invite me into your home. I was naked, and you didn't give me clothing. I was sick and in prison, and you didn't visit me. Then they will reply, Lord, when did we ever see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or naked or sick or in prison and not help you? And he will answer, I tell you the truth, when you refuse to help the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you were refusing to help me. And they will go away into eternal punishment, but the righteous will go into eternal life. It's interesting to me that Jesus included all of this in the same narrative, beginning with the apocalyptic predictions of things to come, the story he told that we just recounted earlier, and actually another story before that one about 10 bridesmaids not being prepared for a wedding. And then he concluded his whole narrative by talking about what you did for the least of these, you did for me. All of this in the same narrative. It's all about being ready. Ready for whatever the future holds, ready to stand before God, ready to give an account for how we manage what he entrusted to us. Now, it's pretty obvious that in a certain sense, those of us living in our time, in our place, in the nation we live in, the city and state we live in, we have been entrusted with significantly more than the average person in the world, significantly more than others, at least in the material or financial sense. And Jesus was pretty clear that one of the best ways that you can be prepared for heaven and be prepared to stand before God and give an account of your life is to share with the poor and the less fortunate. Now, I understand that these are uncertain times financially. God only knows what the future holds. And there is a strong natural inclination for you and I to play it really safe with our financial resources. And I totally get that. And I will even say that I think there is some wisdom in that. I also know that many of you have already been generous financially to the point of sacrifice. You've already given until it hurts. Our church is full of people like that, and I just want to commend you all for your faithfulness in giving and your generosity. There's also a thing that we are all perhaps especially sensitive to right now called compassion fatigue. That's when the needs are so great, and we're being called upon to give in so many areas that you're just kind of tempted to shut down, right? The danger is that you close yourself off and wind up doing nothing, locking your resources in a safe in the closet of your spare bedroom and just calling it good. I want to encourage you to resist that temptation. We all have an opportunity to go the extra mile today. Some of you, I'm guessing, actually need to go the initial mile. But others of you have an opportunity to go the extra mile. Here's the opportunity. We are approaching the deadline for our fundraising goal for 5Cs, and we still have a few $1,000s to go. For the next 4 days, from now, beginning this moment until this coming Thursday at noon, 5 individuals have stepped up and agreed to match whatever contributions are made up to a cumulative total of $1,500. So together, with your combined giving of $1,500, added together with our combined pledges of $1,500 that the people have agreed to match, we can more than meet and rather exceed our fundraising goal this week. Wouldn't that be awesome? Hope Community Church will not keep a single penny from these contributions. It will all go directly to 5Cs. Here's Gabe to tell you a little bit about 5Cs and how to donate.
5Cs, as you heard, is an orphanage in South Africa, Johannesburg, that we've been sending teams over to help out at since 2005. We send about every year and a half or so. You're seeing some of the pictures of these team members as we speak, and you can actually be part of the team and go over there in the future. But right now, what 5Cs needs the most is financial support, because since the pandemic, a lot of their donors aren't able to donate at all or very little, so their funds have been drastically reduced, which makes it really hard for them to provide the care and food and shelter and education that those kids desperately need.
So what we've been doing as a church is raising funds for them over the past few weeks that we get to send over there. We set a goal of $10,000, and that will go towards their education, their school supplies, books, transportation, uniforms, all that stuff. And of that $10,000, we have already raised $7,043. So we're really close, and here's the good news. We have some generous folks at Hope who have offered to match the next $1,500 that comes in. So, if you've already given, consider giving again. If you haven't given, you've been thinking about it, kind of on the fence, this is your time. Your money can be doubled and have twice the impact.
If you're giving 10, you're giving 20. If you're giving 50, you're giving 100. So, be generous as Jesus was generous to us. You can donate by going to the GoFundMe link that we have in the comments and in the description of these videos. Hope you'll take the opportunity to do that. And we miss seeing all the faces of people at Hope on Sunday mornings. So what we're gonna do is take a look at some faces from Hope and see the mouths on those faces. Shout out to other people from Hope with mouths on their faces. Let's take a look.
Hi everybody, my name is Marian Hollis, and I want to give a shout out this morning to Kathy. That would be Kathy Gonzalez. Kathy, we miss you so much in our small group, and we hope to see you on Tuesday. I want to give a shout out to Kathy. That would be Kathy Franco. She's one of the sweetest people you could know, and we miss you so much. I want to give a shout out to Kathy, and that would be Kathy Atzett. Kathy, we're praying for you, for God to strengthen you, and can't wait to see you in person.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Kylie and Lily and Brinley, and also teacher Melanie. I'm gonna give a shout out to Bella, Elizabeth, and Pastor Jim. We miss you.
And my final shout out is to Jennifer Hamilton. Jennifer, just know that we are praying for you. Jennifer just recently lost her dear precious husband Tom just a couple of weeks ago. So just know many people at Hope are praying for you, caring for you, asking for God to strengthen you and comfort you during this very difficult time. We love you all.
Great job, Mom. That was awesome. Gabe Hollis here once again to shout out to some of the awesome people from my small group, CAT. Nobody teaches English in the middle of the night like you do. Caroline, you're a patient person for how many times you've heard people sing Sweet Caroline and not once have punched one of them in the face, to my knowledge. Chris Newton, we need to have Cloud versus Snake real soon. Danny Newton, you have no idea how jealous I am of the shape of your head. Emily Milton, yes, I do know what you mean. Tyler and Faye, you are the best pug parents in the world. Jiyoung and Shihoon, Anyang, Napa, Kanga GK, Josh, Grega, there are no words, dear Broccoli. Katie, I just want you to treat yourself today because you've been good. And Mel, thank you for making Jordan so happy. He really seems to like you. Tim Carroll, I want you to keep your eye on the grand old flag. If I missed you, I feel terrible. Now, before I throw it back to Jordan, I got 3 important questions for you, Jordan. How often do you love Faces of Hope? Do you think it's a great segment, and should we keep it?
Always love Faces of Hope. It's a great segment.
That it is.
We should keep it.
I'm all for it.
Take a moment to fill out your connection card right now. If you haven't done so yet, help someone out with their medical debt. Now we're gonna have one final song, and then stick around. Zoom into Hope is coming up next.
Woo!
The shadows, step out of the grave, break into the wild, and don't be afraid. Run into wide open spaces, graces waiting for you. Dance like the weight has been lifted, graces waiting. sit waiting. Where the Spirit of the Lord, there is freedom, there is freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord, there is freedom, there is freedom. Come out of the dark, just as you walk into the fullness of His love. Oh, the Spirit is here, and there is freedom, and there is freedom. Chains will fall, prisons shake at the sound of Jesus' name. Lives made whole, hearts awake at the sound of Jesus' name. Chains will fall, prisons shake at the sound of Jesus' name. Lives made whole, hearts awake at the sound of Jesus' name. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom, there is freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom, there is freedom. Come out of the dark, just as you are, into the fullness of His love. Oh, the Spirit is here, and there is freedom, and there is
Thanks, band. Love that song.
Normally, if we were at La Cumbre Junior High, we would all hang out on the patio, have a great time. Instead, we're gonna hang out in Zoom and have a great time still. Right now, you'll see a link popping up in the comments that'll take you to a Zoom room. You can hop in there and just say hi to other people from Hope. You can stay for 30 seconds, you can stay for 30 minutes. It's up to you. There will be someone there leading discussion, so there's no pressure. Super fun. I'm gonna be there. You gonna be there?
I'm gonna be there. You gonna be there?
I'm gonna be there. You gonna be
Are
there?
you gonna be there? That's the real question.
That's what we wanna know.
We want it to be yes.
Go ahead and click that link. We'll see you in the Zoom room, and we'll see you next week.
Later!